No traffic behind us, nobody in front of us. We're in race, and we'll pull. But until you actually try it for yourself, you're not going to be able to appreciate what these cars have to offer, and that's just it is what it is. What's good, guys? Welcome back to Ron's Rides. Welcome back to the channel, and welcome back to another video. If you couldn't tell by the thumbnail or the title, I have something special behind me. I'm at Maserati Alfa Romeo of Daytona Beach today, where I have this beautiful 2019 Alfa Romeo Giulia Quadrifoglio. Let me tell you guys, it's been so long since I've had a Quadrifoglio on the channel. I don't even remember. It had to have been at least, I mean, wow, maybe I had two on the channel last year, maybe. I mean, these things are hard to come by, and this is actually one of those things to where you barely get to see a used one, let alone one with only 8,000 miles on it. So today we're gonna check out this Monte Carlo blue Alfa Romeo Giulia Quadrifoglio, where you guys will be able to see this thing, hear this thing, know the price, the specs, everything that has to do with this beautiful specimen. 505 horsepower. I mean, come on, guys. This thing is a beast, and hopefully the 2021s will be coming in very shortly. The pandemic has slowed things down tremendously. They're going to be coming in very soon, and I'll get those on the channel. But for right now, I have to take time to appreciate what this Alfa Romeo Giulia Quadrifoglio is behind us. We only get to see these maybe once or twice a year and really be able to experience them and enjoy them. So we're gonna do that today. So let's first take a look at this specific spec of this 2019 Alfa Romeo Giulia Quadrifoglio. I've done so many videos on the Giulia and Stelvio Quadrifoglio models, the hardcore versions of the Stelvio and Giulia variants, but each time it feels so special, again, because how rare these things are, because how sought after they are. And I guarantee you guys, this won't be here long, so I'm here to get it while it's here. Look at this beautiful Monte Carlo blue metallic exterior paint. The Florida sun really does this justice. Just take a look at that metallic flake in this paint. And this car isn't as clean as it could be because of pollen here in Florida, but that just looks so spectacular. And then paired with the bright technical aluminum wheels done in 19 inches with the monochrome center cap and the yellow calipers with the black script. All right, Brembo brakes, drilled rotors. I mean, this is a spec, I mean, a gentleman spec, a combo that is just super cool, super clean, not too flashy, but it lets you know that this is something special. Now, for those who don't know, I want to tell you guys what sets the Giulia Quadrifoglio apart exterior wise for right now before you go under the hood between the normal 2.0 Giulias. Well, there's a few styling changes that you'll want to know about. You know, for 2019, a lot hasn't changed between the newer models, but one thing that the Giulia Quadrifoglio will have for every Giulia Quadrifoglio is the active carbon fiber aero right up front. So I actually did a video on this same kind of color Alfa Romeo Giulia Quadrifoglio of the active aero, a specific video showing it in action, in motion, going up and down when the car went to a certain speed, which I think is in the 60 mile per hour range, where it went down for extra downforce. That is one big thing that you won't see on any sedan these days, and one big thing that you'll see between the Giulia Quadrifoglios and the Giulia 2.0s. You'll also have a much more aggressive front fascia, all right, over the Giulia standards. So you'll see the curves, you'll see the grille, some of it being fake, some of it being actual feed through, all right, actual functional. But more than that, you'll see just a couple of different kind of curvatures and styling cues up front. Another thing you'll notice is the rivets here for the nostrils, all right? So that's actually for cooling for this carbon fiber hood and the engine underneath. All right, so we'll take a look at that carbon fiber, dry carbon fiber hood underneath in just a moment. But this is actually active, all right, and it feeds right through to help cool that twin turbo V6 engine. That is something you won't see in the 2.0 Giulias. Another thing you won't see in the 2.0 Giulias, the iconic cloverleaf. All right, this has so much heritage behind it, so much racing history. All right, I did a whole video on the cloverleaf as well if you guys want to check that out, but this is only reserved for Alfa Romeo's most high powered models, and that's this one here. You'll also notice the active feed here as well. All right, functional air vent on the front fender as well for the Giulia Quadrifoglio, not for the 2.0s. Now, another thing you'll notice All right, that carbon fiber side skirt or rocker panel is what they like to call it. That is only for the Giulia Quadrifolios, unless you get the carbon fiber package on the Alfa Romeo Giulia 2.0s, then you'll get that same kind of rocker panel that will make it look more aggressive and give it just that stylistic racing cue. Now you'll notice there's no sunroof, and it's not because it's not optioned out with it, it's because the Alfa Romeo Giulia Quadrifoglio does not allow you to have one because this roof is actually carbon fiber. All right, so it's painted over carbon fiber. So you can't see it obviously, but if you were to option out a exposed carbon fiber roof, it's an extra $2,000 for them to do that. Now, I think it used to be $500. I think it's $2,000 now. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe I saw a $2,000 option on the 2021 build that says that you can have the exposed carbon. But regardless if it's exposed or not, this is a carbon fiber roof. Now, you'll also notice going to the rear that you do have that carbon fiber spoiler, and this comes automatically on the Giulia Quadrifolios. It was only recently that you were able to get these as accessories on the Alfa Romeo Giulia to order aftermarket OEM Alfa. But with that said, this is the only model that it comes on standard. Also down here, you'll notice that more aggressive rear diffuser. Look at that thing, looks like shark fins, just digging right into the dirt. It just looks so cool. All right, so that rear diffuser and the quad exhaust, the sound that this thing makes when it's in race mode is just something uncanny. We'll hear that in just a moment. But with that said, that's mainly the styling cues and differences that you're going to see on the Alfa Romeo Quadrifoglio versus the Giulia 2.0s. All right, so the Giulia Quadrifoglio, more hardcore, more sporty. The wheels, obviously you can only get these technical wheels on the Giulia Quadrifolios, but you can get the 5-hole dark wheels or 5-hole bright aluminum wheels on both variants. So with that said, let's take a look under that hood because that's the big game changer. That's what this car is all about, the heart and soul. Now this is where it gets interesting. The Ferrari-derived twin-turbo V6 putting out 505 horsepower, 443 pound-feet of torque with a 0 to 60 time in 3.8 seconds and a top speed of 191 miles per hour. And that's paired up with the 8-speed ZF transmission. Now this thing is something serious and it sounds just as good as it looks. And it comes with this dry carbon fiber hood that I was talking about earlier that just looks so cool to have a nice carbon fiber weave hood. It adds to the cool factor, the fun factor, the quirks and features, as Doug DeMuro would say. It just looks really nice for a sedan that just really takes this to the next level. All right, this is where it's at under the hood. All right, I mean, just wow, I love this thing, love driving this thing. We're gonna take it out for a quick spin for sure, but you guys have to respect this engine because it is something killer. And once you put it in race mode, you turn off your traction, you turn off your stability and everything like that, it becomes a whole different fire breathing beast. Now, I'm not saying that it shoots flame out of the exhaust, which I'm sure it could, but I'm just saying that the driving experience with this engine is unlike none other. You guys will experience that soon. Now let's take a look at the inside, see all the upgrades and options that this Alfa Romeo Giulia Quadrifoglio has, and you can see the differences between the 2-liter and the Giulia Quadrifoglio here. Now first things first, before you even get in the car, you'll see that aluminum door sill done with the Alfa Romeo script. You'll see the aluminum pedals also done there as well. All right, then before you get in, you can see the Alcantara seats. This is only on the Giulia Quadrifoglio models. All right, you can also get the Sparco racing seats that we've seen on the channel before. And as you can see, this has the green and white stitching to go with. All right, so Nero seats, green and white stitching going all around the headrest, embossed Alfa logo there, and then the green and white going all the way down into the seat rest here. All right, with the Alcantara going in with it as well, and that extra thigh support here where you can push it in, pull it out, however you like to do that as well. All right, so before we get in, those are the things we're seeing. And when we hop in, you'll notice that the steering wheel is a little different. Now, the steering wheel can come with carbon fiber trim. This one was optioned out without it. All right, so this was optioned in full leather, but the Giulia Quadrifoglio can have the carbon fiber trim for every model year. Now, another big difference you'll notice between the 2-liters, that big red start stop button. So before we get to that, let's take a look at this door panel here. All right, leather all throughout. All right, the green and white stitching carrying on, the carbon fiber trim going around the door handle bezel, done in aluminum, and the Harman Kardon sound system there. More green and white stitching on the armrest here with these switches. All right, and then your speaker down there as well. Now we'll close this up. We'll step on the brake and bring it to life. All right, that grumble. She's gonna beep at us a couple of times here. All right, and now you'll notice that you have the same things as far as the steering wheel, like the driver assistance controls, stuff like the hands-free radio controls, and those big Italian paddle shifters that are column mounted back there in aluminum. All right, now I think you'll notice that's different about the Quadrifoglio is that Quadrifoglio badge right there by the speedo, where you can see that we have 200 miles per hour on the dash. All right, we know this goes 191, so it's good to know that, hey, maybe if you push it a little bit harder, you can get up to 200. I think we've seen it before on the channel. Now, with that said, you do have your speedo there where you have your RPMs. See where you read up to? It's the 6.5. And then you also have your TFT screen there in the middle. As you can see, it's a very hot 90-degree day here in Florida. All right, but we are checking this thing out. The menus are very simple for the TFT screen. There's only a few of them, so I'm not going to go over that because, again, I've gone over the 2019s, and it's pretty much the same thing for the 2020 models, 2021 models, all that. So with that said, the big difference is the screen here. All right, so the infotainment screen is not a touch screen for 2019. That didn't change until the next year, 2020. So you still have the old infotainment setup here, where it's just lists, besides not being the graphical user interface touchscreen that you're used to seeing on the 2020 models. So I've gone over this plenty of times from 2017 throughout the 2019 models, so you guys have seen all that before. If not, make sure you check out my older videos on that. Another big thing that you'll see is the big carbon fiber slab right here in the middle. All right, that centerpiece looks so good, done with carbon setup. You do have a door over here, all right, that hides those cup holders. That was a thing that Alfa Romeo changed in 2020, where they didn't for the Giulia have the door anymore. So now for 2019, you do have the door, all right. HVAC controls right there. All right, you have your 8-speed ZF 2-track system there. We can go into manual mode, all right, drive, neutral, reverse, and park just like that. All right, when you do put it in reverse, you do have, let's see if it'll pop up, your backup camera there. All right, not the greatest, but it does give you your parking sensors and everything up front and back there, and your rear view camera there as well. Now down here, this is where you're going to notice a difference, not necessarily because this is the 2019 model and it's differently set up as far as the configuration, but you'll notice the dynamic, natural, advanced efficiency, and the most important, race mode for the DNA selector. All right, we'll get to that in just a second. Radio controls here. All right, menu and option button there, and then for your controls for your infotainment screen, where I can go up and down, I can enter into things there, media, everything like that. I can do all of my screens throughout this toggle here. Now you also have the electric parking brake there as well, and then you have the nice leather armrest done with the green and white stitching as well. When I go inside, you'll see that you do have the little section for your key, all right? So you can put your key there just in case it dies and you need the RF transmitter to communicate with it. It's right there. Then we have USB 2.0 plugins there. You guys can barely see those, with an aux cable, all right, and a 12-volt plug-in there. It's all there, I promise you, but it's just hard to see. Now, the big difference between the Alfa Romeo Giulia 2.0 and the Quadrifoglio, this right here. So A, advanced efficiency, your most economic mode, best fuel economy mode. Natural mode, everyday driving, you know, just bumper to bumper traffic every day, in between, you know, traffic lights and all that kind of stuff. Dynamic, when you really want to get going, turns red, most throttle response there out of the small three, not the race mode, but the most throttle response out of these three here. And your dampers light comes on, which softens your dampers. And then the big boy, hold it over, race mode. That turns off your ESC, all right, turns off your traction, all of your driver assistance, all that safety stuff, all right, because that's your more hardcore mode. That's the one for the track. That's the one that's going to give you your louder exhaust note, all right. That's the thing that's going to give you your most throttle response out of all of these. That's the one that's really going to just tighten up the suspension, just really make things crazy, all right. Now, you can get that exhaust note in dynamic mode once you go past 3,000 RPMs, but it goes quiet there. Once I go into race, it automatically is there all the time. So you get the most out of everything in race mode. So you guys are probably going to want to hear that pretty soon. We will hear that exhaust, and we will take it for a quick drive as well. All right, so with that said, we'll get back to what makes this car amazing. The leather all on the upper dash here, all right, the contrasted stitching with the green and white, and then the big slab of carbon fiber right over the glove box there, you guys can see, all right, and then the same flow goes to the back seats. So you have the same Alcantara, all right, you have the same carbon fiber around the door bezels, everything like that. Speakers, all right, you have the green and white stitching. Everything looks just as good in the rear as it does up front. So I'm not going to spend too much time back there because we want to, move it along. But with that said, this thing is incredible. All right, let's take out the truck real quick. Let's talk about the fuel economy, and then let's take this thing for a drive. Oh, and yeah, the mileage, 7,810, as you guys can see on the bottom left there. I don't know how I almost forgot that, but yeah, just under 8,000 miles. How crazy. Fuel economy, premium fuel only as expected, 17 city and 24 highway. Not bad for a twin turbo V6, but it's as expected. Now, trunk underneath, you will see what you're used to seeing. All right, now you have your floor mats there, obviously, because the floor mats are out. You also have your battery on the side there. All right, just twist those little things there and you can pull it down. And then you have your rear folding seats. Now keep in mind, the 2017 and I think 2018 models did not have rear folding seats. I think in 2019, this model year, is when Alfa Romeo added the rear folding seats, which made the most sense. I'm not sure why they didn't have it the other 2 years, but they have it for this year. So that's always a plus. And then underneath, you're not gonna see much here. All right, yeah, tire inflate kit, tow hook, screwdriver, not much to see. Run flat tires, so there's no kind of spare tire here, which again makes sense, but I know some people are kind of turned off by it, but it is what it is. All right, so now I'm gonna let you guys hear her scream first in natural mode, all right, just your everyday driving mode, and then kick it up to race mode so you can hear what it's like with those active valves screaming open. Always so nervous to get behind the wheel of these cars because they get aggressive, and how I drive them in the video for you guys. Obviously you want to kind of see what they can do in the limits of what I can show you, being at a dealership and not being on a racetrack. So with that said, my stunner shades are on because I need to be able to see. So these are prescription. So again, not trying to look cool or anything. I just gotta be able to see what I'm doing, especially in this car. So I'm just starting off right now, regular, natural mode, automatic, and you can definitely feel the stiffness in the suspension with these cars. And this is actually the year right before they moved over to electric steering for the Giulias or for the Alfa Romeo lineup. So this does not have electric steering, so the steering response, remember I told you guys when I did the 2020 reviews and the 2021 reviews, I said that with the electric steering, now the steering response is a little bit slower, a smidge bit slower, which doesn't matter much because if you haven't driven the previous models, you wouldn't know, and they're still so quick that you couldn't tell the difference much between the previous model years. With this one, this has no electric steering, so yeah, I can barely turn the wheel and I'm shaking back and forth. It's just super responsive. It's just awesome. You can corner in this thing like nothing. Nobody's business. Just doing this. It's just insane. And we have the Brembo brakes, the drill rotors. So we're gonna stop within a dime. Now I'm gonna push it over to manual mode. All right. I'm gonna put it in dynamic actually to start. And take off. Now, you guys didn't see me look up at the camera because I was just making sure I had everything set, and gotta get back used to this thing. But I think because I was kind of caught off guard, I don't know if you saw my head bounce up against the seat rest there, but it just shows you I'm in dynamic mode. All right, it just shows you how aggressive these things. That's not full throttle. That's about half. All right, that's about half. All right, it's just, I said that twice because I'm just so flabbergasted. I don't even know how to put into words how awesome this thing is and how it sounds. can see my body language that I'm trying to stay stiff, trying to keep my arms, you know, pretty stretched out and stiff, and I'm still doing one of these things because it's, again, it's just super aggressive with the Quadrifolios. There's just nothing else to say about it. And that's why you get these cars, for the driving experience, and they give it to you. And which is why I'm always nervous to drive them, which is why I have always the most fun driving them, and which is why I'm so blessed that we have one in. Because I can do stuff like that. Wow. Oh, the noise. All right. So, verdict is obviously dynamic mode is just insane. Sport manual mode or whatever, dynamic manual mode, whatever you want to call it, it's insane. If you drive these cars, you need to drive them in a way where you're going to get the most out of them. It doesn't necessarily have to be race mode, because I don't want to suggest that, because again, it takes off your traction and safety. So for everyday driving, I wouldn't recommend race mode, but dynamic mode gives you enough to where, you know, unless you need race mode, you won't think about it much. But with that said, you can't watch the smile on my face today, man. And I can't wait till the 2021s come in. Probably won't be too much of a difference, obviously, for many reasons. But again, this is just insane. All right, so now let's try. We'll get parked, and we will try race mode. Wouldn't recommend just doing this on normal day-to-day driving. You know, race mode, again, is one that you really need to focus and be comfortable with, and, you know, you could really lose the back end. All right, so race mode. All right, valves open up automatically from the start. All right, traction controls off. You can see off. All right, driver assistance, all that off. So I'm going to take this slow out of the corner. Oh, I wasn't even in manual mode, so let's slow it down. First gear. I still feel like I'm being easy on the throttle because, again, especially with race mode, I'm nervous, but it's just, man, you can lose these tires easily. You can spin tires quick. Oh, here we go, guys. Oh my God. This is just insane. You really have to hold your breath. Like, it's stupid how crazy this thing gets, how aggressive, how rugged, how raw this driving experience gets in race mode. It's something that anybody who is a car enthusiast, let alone an Alfa Romeo enthusiast, needs to experience once in their lifetime. I know the BMWs give these cars, you know, BMW enthusiasts or Mercedes enthusiasts give these cars a hard time because of their past reputation of reliability and fix it again Tony and all that stuff with Fiat and yeah, okay, but you need to get behind the wheels of these cars to know really what it's all about, really why the passion and rawness and history and everything plays a part on why these cars are so fun and great to have. And you know, you can try to explain that all you want, but until you actually try it for yourself, you're not going to be able to appreciate what these cars have to offer. And that's just it is what it is. Now, I don't got a lot of room in front of me, so I'm going to wait until I do, and then I'll give you guys some, you know, good sound clips that for me to drive and really show you guys this thing, because again, it's just such an awesome drive. So give me a second, we'll skip to that point, and then we'll get some good clips for you guys. So first, let's do dynamic mode. Okay, that was already thrilling and exciting enough. And then I crank it up, make sure that there's no traffic behind us, nobody in front of us. We're in race, and we'll pull. So you guys see, both hands on the wheel, making sure I got the most control that I can have of this car. And yeah, it's insane. Again, I can't stress you guys enough how crazy this car is. All right, again, it's just one of those, you gotta do it yourself. You really gotta do it yourself. All right, so I'm gonna stop, make sure no people in front of me, no people behind me. Make sure I'm very careful with this thing. All right. And go. All right. Yeah, tire spun. Tire spun. Yeah, it's like that. It's like that, this thing. I don't even know what else to say, guys. Let's just cut it there. I don't even know what else to say. So per usual, we're gonna look at those bi-xenon headlamps, all right? The LED running lights and the amber turn signals, as you guys can see. So you can see what everything looks like illuminated. Even though this Florida sun drowns it out a little bit, you can still see what it would look like in action. Now, you also have your LED turn signal done in amber right here on the side mirror cap. Again, it's probably pretty hard to see. My bad on that. You know, I gotta use this Florida sunshine to my advantage, but it doesn't help with the lighting. And then the full LED tail lamps as well, as you guys can see there, looks so much more aggressive with that carbon fiber spoiler. I mean, wow, look at this thing, check it out. Looks so good. Before I tell you guys the price, shout out to Eric Hurd. He is the sales consultant that actually told me this car was coming in, had it all ready for me when I got here. So shout out to Eric, make sure you check him out. And with that said, the price of this 2019 Alfa Romeo Giulia Quadrifoglio with only 7,800 miles on it. Well, you are wondering, it is $64,990, which makes sense. These things hold their value pretty well, and with them being only so few of them around, I mean, it makes sense. These are hard to get a hold of. I already know a couple of people who want this, who I'm going to contact after I film this video here. And with that said, this is one that has low mileage, is in pristine condition for a used vehicle of 2 years of age. So I mean, it makes sense. $64,990, that's the price for this Quadrifoglio, and that's a steal to me. All right, guys, so what did you think? With that said, did you love seeing this thing in action, hearing about it, knowing the price and the mileage as much as I did? Again, I'm so honored, so thrilled to be able to get behind the wheel of one of these beasts, to be able to show it off to you guys, to be able to show why these cars are so special, to be able to show why I didn't get a 2.0, because I really wanted one of these, and it's still in the works. You know, pandemic kind of set me back a little bit, but I still want to get a Giulia Quadrifoglio sometime in the near future. But with that said, what do you guys think about this Giulia Quadrifoglio? Did you enjoy it as much as I did? Did you enjoy this spec as well? Let me know down in the comments below. Now, if you guys did enjoy this video today, make sure you give it a big thumbs up. Give it a thumbs up, we'll help get it up in the rankings. More people can see it, and we can have a bigger discussion on this 2019 Alfa Romeo Giulia Quadrifoglio with only 8,000 miles on it. Now with that said, if you guys want to help further support the channel, definitely check the links down below. We have a one-time lead donation from our PayPal, Cash App, and Venmo, where you guys can donate $1 or $2 to the channel if you want to help support your boy. You can always check out the Ron's Rides Patreon as well, be a monthly subscriber, or check out the merch. You can get t-shirts, stickers, hoodies, starting to get hot, get tank tops, whatever you guys want, Ron's Rides. And make sure you guys follow me on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram. I'm on everything. Make sure you guys check out the Ferrari, Maserati, Alfa Romeo content that doesn't always make it here to the channel. Now last but not least, make sure you subscribe to the channel, but click the notification bell so you don't miss out on one video. Now with that said, you guys be blessed, have a great day, and we will talk to you guys in the next Ron's Rides video. Peace.